We were blessed in the 2024 NFL Draft to get an absolutely loaded offensive tackle class. And the 2025 NFL Draft has a few really good talents in this class as well. While I don't think it's quite as good as last year's class, I think you're going to find some very quality starters in this group. But hey, guys, welcome back. And today we are going to be going over my top 20 offensive tackles entering the 2025 NFL Draft. This is a group that I'm a pretty big fan of. I like quite a few guys up at the top. I think there's a lot of project pieces down the board that could fly up. So if you guys do enjoy videos like this, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Go check out the playlist. I have done a position ranking on every single position except corner, which will be coming out next week. Prospect spotlights dropped this weekend, so James Pierce and Ollie Gordon are up, so you guys can go check that out. My official college football playoff predictions drop tomorrow. We've got a ton of videos, and the daily upload game is starting to come back, so I'm super excited. Also, be sure to sign up for Underdog Fantasy using my code JWAC to get double your initial deposit up to $250. On top of that, check out the Patreon, which will be linked down below, where I have my official draft guide, evaluations, and much, much more. But let's go ahead and kick this off, starting with my number 20 tackle, and that is going to be Armand Membao out of Missouri. He's a really nice athlete. I think he's got good quickness. I think it definitely showed at times in the run game. He had that nice burst, was able to climb into the second level, and he blocked with a physical, nasty nature. He had a mean streak to him, which is something I always appreciate in my tackles. I thought he had good footwork. I thought his anchor was pretty good. I thought he moved really fluidly. Change of direction was something that it's not something I look for in offensive tackles, but the way he was able to kind of pivot, move his hips, and kind of keep his shuffle going, I was pretty impressed by that. He does have the tendency to lunge a little bit, disengage too early, and I think a lot of the issues that I had with him was as a run blocker, where he looked too out of control at times. He disengaged too early, and he had the tendency to lunge. He played the right tackle position for Missouri, was good. I could see him being a guard at the NFL level as well because of his athleticism and his ability to kind of win with athleticism. But he's a good piece to start this off. I think I have him in the 4th or 5th round is kind of where I have the draftable grade starting here, or at least for this top 20. And so he's a guy that I am a big fan of, and I got him at number 20. The number 19, we've got Marcus Mbao. Good player from Purdue. Purdue's got a couple of really good offensive linemen. We talked about Gus Hartwig already. Marcus is a pretty good one as well. He's got really good hands. I thought his ability to counter pass rush moves was some of the best in the class. He really understood leverage and how to kind of swipe defenders' hands away. Another guy who had really good footwork. He has long arms, and he was able to win in terms of pass protection with his length, which was really impressive. He's a solid athlete, had the really good ability to pull in the run game, which was something else that I thought was really nice. In terms of like climbing the second level as a run blocker, wasn't really all there for him. I thought he was fine. Looked a little out of control, took some bad angles at times. Would like to see that improve. Missed some time last year due to some injuries, so that's definitely going to be something to monitor. And then against quicker pass rushers, really lost a step at times to them. So would like to see him kind of improve in that phase, work on shuffling a little bit more and being able to get back into the play. But good anchor, good hands, solid athlete. There's some tools there to really work with. And I got him at number 19. I think he'd be a 4th round pick if the draft were today. I think he's a really solid player. Number 18, we've got Josh Connerly out of Oregon. Oregon has a couple of tackles. I think for me, it all comes down to his run blocking, which is why he's low, because he is a fantastic pass protector. He's got really strong anchor, really didn't give up anything in terms of bull rush. He was able to counter power for power, had really solid footwork, which was really impressive. And he had the ability to climb into the second level as well. He is a good athlete. He moves really well, light on his feet, good hands and pass protection as well. Really the issues I have with him are his run blocking. As I said, he's a taller tackle, so he does have the issue to lunge a little bit, which you don't like to see. causes him to take some bad angles, had some balance concerns here and there as well. So that can improve. And just overall, I thought he just struggled to connect in the second level. While he's got the athleticism to get there, I don't think he's really put everything together to fully connect there. So those are areas I would definitely like to see improve from him, but really good tackle. I think is a third, fourth round pick because he is such a great pass protector. And I think the run blocking can definitely come along with time. Number 17 is probably going to be a controversial one. People are not going to like it, but it's Blake Miller out of Clemson, the only Clemson tackle that made the top 20. Blake Miller's fine. I think he needs to add on a little bit of weight. He looked a little bit light in the pants at times, but when we're talking about best athletes in the class, I think Blake Miller's at the top of that list. He's really, really good in space, particularly as a run blocker. Got to the second level and had that mean streak to him that we talked about with Armin Mumbaugh. He's a powerful blocker in space, moves really well. He's light on his feet. I think he's good all around in pass pro. He's got solid footwork. He's got good hands. There's some stuff to really like there with him. But I mentioned I would like to see him add on some weight. I think his anchor was pretty poor. He, like I said, was pretty light on his feet, was pushed back a little bit easier than I'd like to see. And he got beat by quickness. I think pad level as well does play a role in that because he's a little bit flat-footed at times, got beat to quickness on the outside. Those are areas he could definitely improve upon. Third round guy for me, though, because I think he is such a good athlete. He's got that mean streak. I think he's got a lot of tools and pass protection to really buy into, but he's got to improve his play strength, got to add on some weight, and needs to do a better job against quicker pass rushers. So that's why he's at number 17. At number 16, we've got Amari Kite from UCF, player that I'm sure not a lot of people are talking about, but one of my favorite tackles in this class. Really good length, great size at the tackle position. I really love tackles that have a good IQ on when to pick up blitzes and where stunts are coming from. And that's something that Amari Kite did really well. He's got really good footwork and hands and pass protection. I thought he was a powerful blocker in space as well. But similar issues that we've had with some of these other tackles, I think he disengages too early as a run blocker at times, which is one of the big concerns I have for him there. Didn't really climb the second level incredibly. Not that he's a bad athlete, but it's just kind of average for me. And then again, got flat-footed, was beat by quickness at times to his outside shoulder. So those are both areas that I think can definitely improve for him. But he's a good tackle. I think he is a third-round pick as well. Was the starting right tackle for UCF. I think that's a really good spot for him moving forward. And I got him at number 16. At number 15, another one of my guys in this class. It's Ozzie Trapilo out of Boston College. I have a thing with these Boston College offensive linemen. I loved Christian Mahogany last year. Trapilo's up there. Reminds me a little bit of Mahogany just because of his run blocking. That was something I loved about Mahogany. Was a good run blocker, climbed the second level, and just was nasty when he made contact. Ozzie Trapilo is the same way. He plays with a mean streak in the run game. He gets to the second level. He's looking to take guys' heads off, which you absolutely love to see. He's a great run blocker with fantastic length, which he used to his advantage in pass protection, where he did a really good job of countering pass rush moves, and he was really smart in that phase. Another area I do like about him is his versatility. He played guard, he played left tackle, he played right tackle. He's played just about everywhere on the offensive line for the Eagles, and I think that's going to be a major selling point for him when he gets drafted. On top of that, he does have some concerns, missed some time in 2023 with some injuries, so that's going to be something that, again, we're going to keep an eye on. His anchor was not great, needs to improve on his lower body strength and kind of keeping his feet planted when going up against power. And then he took some bad angles as a run blocker at times. It's not something I'm too concerned about, but it was a little up and down here and there. But I really like Ozzie Trapilo. If he can improve on these areas, could be a sneaky top 10 tackle for me entering the draft next year. Really fun player, and I got him at number 15. At number 14, we've got a Johnny Cornelius. I think I got a second to third round grade on him. So second to third round on pretty much everybody moving forward. It's not bad. I don't have very many first round guys, but I think there's a couple guys on day 2 that I would definitely consider. Cornelius is one of them. I think he's a really, really good athlete. Was a transfer from Rhode Island who was instantly impactful for the Oregon Ducks. Finishes the play, again, mean streak to him. Obviously, that gets a boost. I think he's got solid footwork. I think he had solid hand placement, but he's still a really raw tackle, which is why he's at 14. I still think he's got to work on some things. Really needs to work on his polish in terms of pass protection, because he struggled against Jonah Ellis, against the quickness of Ellis, the power. Didn't really have all the tools there. That was a matchup that he really, really struggled against. And then he overextended a lot in the run game, just moved too far past his assignment, was out of the play, and it led to some tackles there. So he's still pretty raw in all phases, but the athleticism is there. The mean streak, the footwork and hand placement, the anchor, like the tools are there. I expect a big jump from him in 2024 to hopefully solidify himself as potentially a top 10 tackle in next year's class. At number 13, we've got Riley Mahlman out of Wisconsin. Super athletic, borderline elite run blocker. That was an area of him that I was like, holy cow. Every single run play, he was just climbing the second level, making contact, understood angles and leverage and how to get up to the second level. He has really good quickness. He's got good size, length, footwork is all there as well. It's pass protection that I have more concerns about him than I do answers. He really did not have good hands in pass protection, did not have great technique, didn't understand how to counter pass rush moves. And on top of that, he got beat by quickness to his outside shoulder from time to time. Really good tackle prospect. He's got a lot of tools that are really interesting that you can buy into. A great run blocker. Gonna have to put everything together. I definitely like him better than Jack Nelson on that Wisconsin offensive line, but he does have to improve in a few areas. Again, second to third round pick for me, and I've got him at number 13. At number 12, we've got Xavier Truss out of Georgia. The only Georgia tackle here. Ernest Green did not make my top 20. Truss is a very versatile athlete. Played at right guard, played at right tackle a lot when Amarius Mims was out. Great run blocker, which is one of the most impressive parts of his game, in my opinion. Super powerful. I mean, he laid some of the most powerful blocks I saw from any tackle in this entire draft class. He's got really strong hands. I thought he was a really good blocker in space. Had solid movement abilities, change of directions. His anchors up and down. He got beat to his outside shoulder. And I think those are both areas that can improve with more experience at the right tackle position. Truss kind of was in and out of the rotation with Amarius Mims, took some snaps, started at right guard at times. So he's kind of been all over the place. I expect him to be the full-time starter at right tackle next year for Georgia. If he is, and if he can improve that anchor, he's probably borderline top 5, because I really love what he does as a run blocker. I think he's got good hands. I think his anchor can improve a little bit, but he's a really good tackle, and I got him at number 12. At number 11, we've got Trey Zune III out of Texas A&M. I liked him, was the very last player that I watched. And I liked what I saw, particularly in pass protection. He just came with some pop. His hands were really impressive. I thought he had good footwork, a really strong anchor as well. He had good length to kind of keep defenders back, and it gave him time to react to moves, which were all really, really good things to see from him. He had really good size, the ideal frame for the left tackle spot. Everything that I had concerns about was more technical, like technique. And it starts with his run blocking. He kind of had this tendency to like block with his chest, which is weird because he's so good with his hands and pass protection. That did not show up in the run game one bit. Really weird run blocking technique. Had the tendency to lunge quite a bit. I didn't think that his body was that. I was confused by that. I didn't think he should have lunged as much as he did. And then he continued to play with high pad levels. So it causes him to lose leverage battles because he's not generating that power from his lower body. So I'd like to see all of those areas improve. He's a good tackle. I really liked what I saw from him. He wasn't a bad run blocker. He just has to improve his technique. And I got him at number 11. At number 10, we've got Anthony Belton. Now, before we move any further, I did a full about 25-minute interview with Anthony. So if you guys are interested in that, that is going to be in the Patreon for free, linked below. So if you guys want to hear from Anthony Belton himself, I highly recommend go checking that out. But he is my number 10 tackle. I think he's a really, really good athlete. I thought he had exceptional length. He moved really well. He had strong footwork. I thought his hand placement was really, really good. I liked all of those things from Belton. He's had some really nice games for NC State over the last few years. I still think, though, as good of an athlete as he is, he's still a bit raw as a run blocker. Needs to improve on his angles and understanding how to get to the second level a little bit more consistently. Those are the big areas of him that I think he's a little bit raw in. And in terms of pass protection, we talked about players getting beat outside. He was beat to his inside shoulder consistently. Now, if you want to get beat anywhere, you want to get beat inside because you got help from your linemen. But it was almost like I saw it multiple times, and that was something that concerned me. Really like Anthony Belton, though. I think if he can improve that as a run blocker, he's going to probably be a borderline top 5 tackle in this class because the athletic tools are all there for him. At number 9, we've got Ariante Esere out of Minnesota. This is where the second round picks start. Everyone else that we talked about from Cornelius on was second to third round. Esere is a second round pick. This guy was one of the highest rated tackles in college football 25. And when you watch the tape, you can see why. Really good size. I thought he had good hands and pass protection. He was just a nasty run blocker, though. He just was taking guys out left and right, was just a people mover in the run game, which you'd love to see. I thought he had a really strong base, good anchor, solid footwork. He moved really well. He's a good athlete, but I don't think he's anything special. He wins with his power, with his instincts, and you'll love to see that. His blitz recognition was an area that I thought was pretty poor. There were a few instances, I believe it was against Michigan State, it was against North Carolina, the game that I watched, where they would bring they'd bring blitzes and he would pick up the wrong guy. Didn't understand the blitz that well. And I thought he got beat outside from time to time. It says did not get beat outside. He got beat outside. So that's a typo on my end. But he's a really good player. I think he's a second round pick. Could be a franchise right tackle for you. And I got him at number 9. At number 8, we've got Fernando Carmona, one of the most polarizing players that I watched in this entire draft class. Because if we're talking about athletes, Carmona's the best athlete in this class, and I don't think it's particularly close. This guy was freakishly athletic, and getting to the second level was really impressive stuff from him. I thought he had really good blitz IQ, picked up blitzes really well. He hit with a ton of power, had great hands and pass protection, was really good at countering pass rush moves, was a good run blocker, even though he had some weird angles. Like, there's a lot of tools here that you're like, whoa. Transferring from San Jose State to Arkansas, his anchor is something that you want to see improve. He was just easily pushed back, was a little bit light on his feet. So those are areas he's going to have to improve. Played with high pads. And one of the weirdest things that I think I saw from any tackle, he backpedaled into it. Like a corner would backpedal. That's what he did when getting into his snap. It was really weird. I didn't like it because usually you want to see an offensive lineman just get their hands up immediately. It was like a snap was taken. He played with high pads already. He's stepping back and then getting his hands up. I think you're losing a leverage battle immediately because you're giving them a little bit more time to get to you. So I didn't love that. I thought that was one of the weirdest things I had seen. I don't know if I've ever seen a tackle that does that. That being said, he's at 8 because I think the athletic tools are absolutely ridiculous. I think he's a really smart tackle, powerful tackle, and he's going to the SEC. So I think he's a guy that's on my watch list. And if he can improve on some of these tools, he very well could be the top tackle in the class because I think the tools are that good for Carmona. And he's at number 8. At number 7 is another transfer. It's J.C. Davis. He's transferring from New Mexico to Illinois. I thought he had really impressive hands and pass protection. Just the way that he was able to counter some pass rush moves was really impressive. His anchor was really, really good as well. Had strong lower body. He's just a strong, powerful blocker anyways, particularly in the run game. I thought he was pretty good in that area. Moved well. I don't think he's an elite athlete. I think he's a good athlete. He got grabby at times, which was something that I'd like to see improve from him as well. I thought that, he would try and he got away with some holds here and there. That's all I'll say. And against quicker pass rushers, he did have a struggle. So the athleticism, I think, could play a role in him falling, but I'd take JC Davis in the second round. I think all the tools are there in terms of anchor, hands, run blocking, strength. I think he's a good pass protector as well, and he's at number 7. At number 6, we've got Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. Really solid run blocker, got to the second level, made people feel him, which you like to see. Had really good hands, which is another area that, if you guys can't tell, if you got good hands, you're going to be higher up on my list. If you can counter pass rush moves, you're going to be higher up. I liked his ability, though, as a chip blocker. There would be players that were coming inside. He would chip them back to the guard. I like when tackles do that. He had a really strong anchor. I thought his footwork was elite. I think he did have a few issues for me. Balance and lunging both kind of go hand in hand for me. Those are areas he's got to improve. He struggled to get into more power rushers, so another area that's got to improve. And then he didn't read blitzes very well. Got beat when they would bring two his way. He didn't really understand which assignment was his, which one to kick into the guard. And so his blitz recognition was not elite. So that's kind of why he's at number 6. But I do really like him. Second round pick yet again. And I think he's going to be a really good player. Number 5, we've got Wyatt Millam out of West Virginia. I love West Virginia offensive linemen. I loved Zach Frazier last year. I had him really close to Jackson Powers Johnson. So I think Millam is really good, though. I think he's a strong pass protector with really good feet, really good hands. Immediately, I love to see that. His ability to climb to the second level was really good. Laid some really nice blocks in the run game. I think he's a really good run blocker. He's a really strong pass protector as well. He's got the ideal frame. I don't think he's an elite athlete. I think he's a good athlete, gets to the second level, moves pretty well, but I don't think he's super quick and like a game-changing athlete. He got beat outside as a result of it. And then he also had the tendency to lunge a little bit in the run game. All those areas are areas that I think can clean up, but I really liked him. I thought his tape was really good. I thought he moved well, was a strong pass protector, good run blocker, and I got him as the first guy in my top 5. At number 4, we've got Jonah Savanaya. I probably butchered that name. I'm going to learn it more as we get into this draft cycle. Super athletic, though. I mean, one of the better athletes in this entire draft class. If I was putting together a top 5 offensive line athletes, it would be Carmona. It would probably be my number 3 guy. It'd probably be my number 2 guy. And then it might be Jonah here. He had a mean streak in the run game, which I absolutely love to see. Versatility, played a little bit at right guard for Arizona last year, played us well and right tackle, which is kind of where I think he translates better. Had a wide stance, really good footwork as well. So areas that you like to see there from him. Good size. I think his anchor could improve a little bit. Not that it was bad. It was just inconsistent on when he had his feet planted. He got beat on his inside shoulder more than I would like to see. And against UCLA, Latu pretty much had his way with him. That's the game that if we're going to talk about his weaknesses, go back and watch that game. Latu really, really cooked him. It was pretty bad. Has to work on his hands a little bit more in terms of pass rush, I think. And that definitely showed against Latu. Granted, Latu was fantastic as a draft prospect. So we'll see what happens there. But I've got Jonah at number 4. And number 3, we got Emory Jones. This is a first round. The next 3 are first round players to me. I like Emory Jones. I think he's a really, really good athlete. One of the best in the class with good quickness to get to the second level. Really strong footwork. Had some versatility. Took snaps at guard, which I wouldn't be shocked if he's a guard at the NFL level because of his size. He's got good size. I don't think he's got bad size, but I don't think he's got maybe the franchise tackle size. Let me just say that. He's got really solid upper body strength, good hands. I love all that. I think it's really these top 3 or 2 and 3 are really close. I think there's a gap to number 1. He allowed a step to his outside shoulder, which I would like to see improve. Had some balance and control issues when he was a run blocker, just looked out of control, took bad angles. All those are things that can be cleaned up, and I think Emory Jones is going to be a first-round pick for LSU. Right tackle, shows a lot of athleticism, a lot of quickness, and I got him at number 3. Number 2, it is Kelvin Banks out of Texas. And again, one of the best athletes in this draft class, maybe the second best behind Carmona just because of his size. He is a big tackle, franchise left tackle size, who is a nasty run blocker. Texas loves to get these guys in space, loves to run the ball, and Banks is a big part of the reason why they're able to do that because he moves so well, and he is super nasty. He's just super technically sound everywhere. He's a technically sound pass protector with good feet, good hands. He's got really good run blocking technique, good technique everywhere, which you like to see. I think he allowed a step to his outside shoulder a little bit more than I'd like to see. Had some really bad run blocking angles again, was sometimes out of control. His size really gives him the edge over Emory Jones. Both are really good tackles, but I think number 1 in my eyes is very obvious. I know some people aren't going to like this. It's Will Campbell. I think Will Campbell's the best tackle in this draft class by a lot. I've got him as a top 5 player in this class. I think I have Banks and Jones in the low teens. So there's a pretty big gap there between them. I think he's got some of the best hands in this entire class. He has one play against Dallas Turner where Dallas Turner's coming, and the way he's able to kind of counter his pass rush move and redirect him was next level stuff. I think he's an elite run blocker who's very powerful, gets to the second level, lands hard blocks. He's a good pass protector as well with strong feet, good hands, as we talked about. I think he's got a really strong motor, plays till the play is blown dead. He's got a really good ability to pick up blitzes and stunts and free rushers, all tools that I really like. I think his pad level, he has the tendency to play pretty high, which could cause some up and down anchor issues. And again, I don't think he's a great athlete. I think he's an average athlete, not really the quickest guy when you're comparing him to a Banks or a Jones or really a lot of these guys. But I think if we're talking from a technical standpoint, Will Campbell does all the things you want from a left tackle. This feels like a guy that people are going to overthink the crap out of. They're going to be like, well, he's not the best athlete when you got Kelvin Banks. He is so much better than those guys. I think the gap is pretty substantial, and I think Will Campbell's pretty easily the best tackle in this draft class. But that's going to do it for me in this video. Leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Stay tuned for the cornerback rankings, which will finish off our preseason rankings. So excited to get back into draft content for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.